You've been waiting for a sign to make a big change. You just got one. The fact that you're even looking for a sign is a sign. But if you need a few more, stick around. I'm walking through 5 signs that tend to show up right before you're meant to make a major life change. Hey, I'm Tracy, and I have been in that place too, stuck between holding on and moving on. But once I actually started paying attention to these signs, the next steps got a lot clearer. Sign number one, the joy is gone from what used to light you up. One of the first signs you're ready for a change is when the things that used to light you up don't anymore. And not necessarily in a dramatic falling apart kind of way, more like a slow fade. Something that used to feel exciting starts to feel like a chore. You're there, but you're not in it. For me, this has shown up in a few different areas over the years, especially in relationships. At first, there's all that natural excitement, the can't wait to see them phase. And of course, that fades, that's normal. But what I'm talking about is different. It's when even the comfort stops feeling like comfort, when time together feels more like an obligation than a joy. When you catch yourself pulling away, not because you're busy, but because something deeper is missing. And it's not about blaming the other person, but it's about finally listening to what your own energy is telling you. More recently, it's shown up in smaller ways too. Plans I used to say yes to without thinking about, or routines that once felt fun now just feel draining. And when that feeling shows up across different parts of your life, it's usually not random. If you find yourself going through the motions or showing up at feeling disconnected, it might not be a phase. It might be the truth catching up to you, and it might be time to choose something else. Sign number two, you fantasize about a completely different life. And not just a better version of your current life, but something entirely different. New job, new place, new identity. You catch yourself daydreaming about disappearing or starting over or becoming someone else entirely. And that doesn't mean you're ungrateful for the life you built or that you hate your current life. It's just that something in it, maybe everything, feels off. And no matter how good it looks on paper, your body knows the difference. So sometimes the fantasy doesn't even make sense at first, but if you look closer, it usually holds a clue. I remember one day I looked out the window while I was working and I saw a garbage truck roll by, and I was so jealous. And it wasn't because I wanted that job, but that job had something mine didn't. Clear expectations, a hard stop, no need to overthink or carry it all home at the end of the day. Meanwhile, I was living in this endless loop of ambiguity and pressure and performance, and nothing ever truly felt done. So that daydream, as strange as it sounds, wasn't about the job. It was just trying to show me what I was missing. And it wasn't the only one. Some days I imagined content creation full time. Other days it was opening a cat cafe or teaching yoga at a resort or disappearing somewhere completely new where no one knew who I was or what I did. All of these fantasies looked different on the surface, but underneath, each one was pointing to something I was missing: purpose, peace, simplicity, space to breathe. So if your daydreams look nothing like your real life, don't just brush them off. Start paying attention to what they're trying to add or what they're trying to replace. Because sometimes the future you want starts by admitting the present isn't it. And that realization is one of the clearest signs you're ready for a change. Sign number three, the fear of staying the same is louder than the fear of change. There is always going to be fear: fear of leaving, fear of failing, fear of starting over. But eventually something flips, and the scarier thought becomes, what if I don't change? What if I stay in this exact situation another year, another 5, another decade, and nothing changes? For me, that happened after both my cats passed away last year. They were the loves and the light of my life, and as painful as it was to lose them, something became incredibly clear in the aftermath. I had only been tolerating my life because they were in it. Without them, I couldn't pretend anymore. I started to see my routines and my job and my future and realized how much of it wasn't working for me. It was a life I had slowly overgrown, and suddenly, the fear of change felt smaller than the fear of staying stuck. Stuck in a life that looked fine on the outside, but quietly drained me day after day. I was scared to start over, but I was even more scared to stay the same. And that's usually the tipping point. Not that the fear disappears, it's that the truth gets louder. Louder than your excuses, and louder than your comfort, and louder than your fear. The truth that this life, this version of things, is no longer meant for you. And no matter how comfy it feels, this chapter has run its course. So if the idea of staying where you are feels heavier than the risk of leaving, that's your turning point. It's time to choose differently. Sign number four, you feel like you're playing a character in your own life. From the outside, you look like you've got it together. You show up, you smile, you do the things you're supposed to do. But inside, you're performing. You're saying the right things, nodding in meetings, laughing at the right moments, and it all feels so disconnected. Now, I've had many versions of this as well, especially at work. I remember one meeting where I heard myself mid sentence and I was just rambling on, like, I'm really excited about the cross functional synergy here, and this campaign is low hanging fruit. You just need to circle back to align on the KPIs. And it just hit me like I didn't care, not even a little bit. I was just stringing together corporate buzzwords like I was reading from a script. And the worst part is I was good at it. I knew exactly how to sound engaged and how to present the right version of myself and how to play the part of someone who wanted the life and the job that I had. But the truth is, I felt kind of gross. Like I needed to shower off the version of me I had just performed. If it feels like you're cosplaying a life that used to fit, and every smile, every meeting, every I'm doing great feels like a scene in a show you didn't audition for, you don't have to keep performing. You can rewrite the script. Sign number 5, everything is fine, and that's not fine. Your life isn't falling apart. You're not in a crisis. You're just fine. And at first, that feels like enough because on paper it is. You've got a steady job, a roof over your head, and people who care about you. What more could you possibly want? You tell yourself that other people have it way worse and you should just be grateful. I did that for years. I guilt tripped myself into staying. I told myself the devil you know is better than the one you don't. But what if there is no devil? What if life isn't supposed to feel like something you just get through? For me, it felt like my life was slipping through my fingers, like sand in an hourglass. And every time I told myself to be grateful for fine, another day disappeared. Another day where I let myself settle. Fine isn't the finish line, it's the warning sign. You can be grateful and want more, and you can be okay and still feel misaligned. But if fine is all you ever let yourself have, you'll miss out on the life that was actually meant for you. And maybe that's why these signs show up. Not to shame you, not to scare you, but to wake you up, to remind you that good enough isn't the same as right, that numb isn't the same as peaceful, that surviving isn't the same as thriving. There's a reason this video found you today, a reason why you're still listening. Some part of you knows it's time. So if you've been waiting for a nudge, for permission, for proof, let this be it. I'll say the thing you've been waiting to hear. This is your sign. You already know. I'm just saying it out loud. And if even one of these signs spoke to you, I would love it if you liked this video or subscribe. Wherever you are in your journey, you are not behind. You're not alone. And it's not too late to choose differently. Thanks so much for watching.